Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to do a review for StressOut VR. StressOut VR is a game released on the Steam store, out in early access December 10th, 2020 by developer VR Modillo. It's available for all the major VR headsets. It normally retails for $14.99. It is on a release sale, 10% off. I got a free Steam key through the Steam Curator Connect program to review this game. StressOut is basically a melee destruction chaos type game where basically you're tasked to destroy the whole area within a certain amount of time. It's basically a stress reliever for VR. So if you've had a hard day of work and you just want to go in VR and break things, then this might be the game for you. Let's talk more about StressOut. StressOut VR is running on the Unity engine. On my RTX 3080, I was getting a steady 90 frames per second. Keep in mind this game is in early access, so it doesn't have all the options available that you'd like, although there are some different options. There is full locomotion and teleportation options, as well as snap turning available, although there is no smooth turning currently. Now on the Steam store page, the developer lists that there's currently 15 levels available in early access upon release. However, even though I saw the menu and it does look like there might be 15 levels because there's 3 level floors on the elevator and then there's 5 levels on the first floor. Once I got to the second floor, there was only 1 level available. Once I beat that level, there was no option to unlock any of the other levels. In fact, it said under construction. So I'm not sure if there right now is only 6 levels plus the tutorial, or if somehow I missed something, but it sure seems like there's only 6 levels plus the tutorial, even though the store page says there's currently 15 levels, because I'm not sure why else they would say they're under construction versus being just locked like on the first floor level. So I was confused about that discrepancy between the Steam store page description and what I actually experienced in the game itself. Now, like I mentioned, this is basically a destruction area type game. There's a couple of those in VR. Probably the most notable is Hotel R&R VR. And I'm really not a big fan of most of the destructions. I'm more of a fan of like the kaiju type games. I think those are more fun. But definitely this one lacks the physics and it's just too simple, and I just didn't really enjoy it overall. And as it currently stands, I don't think there's enough content if in fact there's only 6 levels, especially for this listed price currently. There just isn't enough there, and what's there is just lacking the depths, especially compared to something like Hotel R&R, which does cost more, but it's just more polished. It actually has physics, and it actually has more interesting and in-depth gameplay versus this that is just too simple. This lacks any kind of real physics. There's different melee weapons you can pick, but it really doesn't matter which one you pick because none of them makes any difference. The only real difference is like the reach of the weapon, and it just lacks physics that you would expect. Breaking items, throwing the whole store apart. It's just not that much fun when not a whole lot happens when you flip stuff over. Yeah, there is some breaking of stuff, but it just isn't detailed enough. It's not realistic enough for it to be something enjoyable for an extended period of time, especially compared to some of the better destruction games, not only in VR, but outside of VR as well. This just is a very poor effort currently, and I just cannot recommend it, but let me talk some more about it just in case you're interested. I finished the whole game in about an hour, maybe less than an hour, and I did get a message that thank you for participating in early access. So like I said, I think those 6 levels plus the tutorial is all there is. The problem was that there just wasn't really a progression in the gameplay. The first level was pretty much like the last level. There are some upgrades along the way, like your projectiles will go farther. You can collect more projectiles to shoot more of them, but the gameplay really never evolves. It's the same in the first level and the last level, plus the shopping mall all look the same. The only thing really different was when you get to the 6th level and then you get to like some sporting goods store, but there's only that 1 level. There's nothing after that, so there just wasn't enough variety either visually Or as far as gameplay elements, it's just rather plain and boring and repetitive right now as it stands. And that's really the main reason why I just couldn't recommend this game. It honestly feels more like a demo than an actual game out in early access that you have to pay $14.99 for. There's just so little content, and what's there just isn't interesting enough to hold your interest for longer than an hour. I was pretty much bored after finishing the first 2 or 3 levels and have to get all the way to the very end. And it just never improved from the first level. It really didn't. I personally was not a big fan of Hotel R&R, but compared to this game, Hotel R&R looks like a 10 out of 10. That's how basic this game is. And charging $14.99 for this just seems like a little bit too much. This definitely should have been released as a demo. Maybe the developers can then improve the game, add some real physics, and then it might be fun. You know, some interesting level design, but for right now it's just not interesting either visually or with the gameplay mechanics, and you know, it's just not something that I would recommend. If I have to give it a rating, I would give it a 4 out of 10. It's not the worst game in the world, but there's definitely better melee destruction games in VR that came out back in 2016, 2017, and this really doesn't improve on the formula at all, so I just can't recommend it. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. If you like my review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, please have a wonderful day, and goodbye.